Do I qualify for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy in the state of Oklahoma? I'm Edward Kelley, Bankruptcy Attorney for the Wirth Law Office, and I'm going to try to answer that question. So, Chapter 13, first, who is it for? This is for an individual. A business generally is not going to be able to do a Chapter 13, pretty much always. A business can do a Chapter 7, which essentially means a trustee can help you get rid of your assets and deal with your debts, although you don't get a discharge as a business. And you can do a Chapter 11, which I've talked about in another video, where you can reorganize. Chapter 13 is the individual equivalent of a Chapter 11. So you as a person are going to come up with a sort of reorganization plan. So Chapter 13 means that either you made too much money to be able to do a Chapter 7, and or you are behind and about to lose your house and or vehicle because of lack of payment, and you want to stop that and force the creditors to let you keep that stuff. There's pretty extraordinary powers in Chapter 13. And you know, if you saw my video on Chapter 11, this is much the same. There are some upper debt limits in a Chapter 13, but currently we're talking about in the millions. With the CARES Act has upped some of those limits for the time being, and also the idea here is, can you see a way to daylight? So, for example, if you're $10,000 behind on your mortgage, you're going to have to propose a plan where you pay the regular mortgage payment, probably through the trustee, plus a percentage of what you owe back spread out over up to 60 months or 5 years of a plan. And you're going to have income to do that. If you submit a plan where you don't have the income to pay for that, it's not going to be confirmed. And basically your case will end up being wasted. So the short on a 13, you've got to have the means to make it work. You know, a Chapter 13 is based on what you owe, not, it's based on what you can pay. Got that ass backward again. Not on what you owe. So, you know, your payment comes down to at least what you have left over after your regular expenses, and that's something you have to hash out. That's what your attorney does in a 13. They do a lot more work in that case than they do in a 7. But if you can come up with a way, I'm going to have, you know, $600 a month coming in. I'm going to pay $100 on my regular mortgage. I'm going to pay $50 a month on this arrearage, you know, past due payments, and I'm going to do that for 3 to 5 years. And if that pays off all the debt you owe back on the house, any other debts that you've thrown in there are going to be discharged. So it's basically pay what you can for 5 years, and everything left over gets discharged. And if you're trying to keep collateral like a house or car, you need to pay them off in full within that 5 years. So are you a person, and do you have a realistic plan to get yourself back above daylight? So, or into daylight. So as always, you can reach me, again, Edward Kelley, Bankruptcy Attorney for Wirth Law, at our website, makelaweasy.com. Talk to you soon.